Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Anna Serbenenko and my background includes PhD in financial mathematics, airline pilot license, polyglot, polymath, single mom, and one heck of a busy person. So in this series of videos, I will show my experiences and a few tips on how to handle an ultra busy life and get results you want out of it, or as close to the results you want as possible. We will start with the big picture and planning overall long term, and then we will break it down into daily routines. If I had to reduce all the planning and all the optimization of my routines to two words, that would be planning and discipline. And all of that goes both for the big picture and for the daily routines. Let's start with planning in the big picture. For example, if you say, I want to have a down payment for my first apartment, that's great, but you need to be more specific. The example of something more specific and tangible would be, I want to have $30,000 as a down payment for my first apartment 3 years from now. And the second step of the planning would be to break down the big objective that you have, having the down payment of $30,000 in 3 years, to tangible every month, every week targets. That means that, for example, in this case, you would need to save about $27,000, because if you invest this money even on the savings or GIC account at 3.5%, the remaining 10% you will actually get as a return on your investment. So we are planning to save $27,000 over 3 years, or $9,000 per year. You break it down to every month, and you know that at the end of each month you need to put aside additional $750. Doing it month after month will get you to your goal at the end of 3 years. Now it comes to the second half of achieving your goals and planning for your goals. It's the discipline. Basically, every time if you need to make a decision, ask yourself, what I'm doing right now, is it getting me any closer to my goals? For example, if you are about to, say, cancel a subscription you are not using, does it get you closer to your goal of having the down payment? Yes, sure. Now you can, for example, put extra $20, $25 every month towards that goal, and maybe you even reach it sooner. On the other hand, if you say, oh, I'm going to treat myself to a spa day because I deserve it, I'm sure you do, and you have the good reasons to treat yourself to a spa day. There is nothing bad in it, but you have to realize that this is a decision, and this decision on that day is not getting you closer to your goal. It may not seem like a big thing. Maybe you want to just buy a new gadget or treat yourself to a trip. It is entirely your call, as long as you realize that it is taking you further away from your goal. Motivation of right now versus far away goal is very hard to maintain, because your instant reward, even if it's small, it's in this very moment. The very big reward is 3 years away, potentially, if you only start saving. But trust me, it is worth it to be disciplined and stick to the goal every single day. You may only have to save $750 at the end of the month, but to make a decision of not spending every $10 or $100 is a daily decision. And from my experience, what kept me on track for reaching my goals was asking myself, what I'm doing right now, is it bringing me closer or further away from that big goal that I have? And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have had the days when I chose to do something else, knowing that it does not get me closer to the goal, but you need to be clear and not kid yourself. You can also have more than one goal, preferably not competing. So for example, you can say, I want to be able to purchase my apartment, and therefore I'm saving the down payment. And I also want to be in shape to run a marathon a year from now. So what do you need to do? How much do you need to train per week, per month, per day? How many kilometers or miles do you need to run? Do you need to do any other exercises? And again, every time ask yourself the question, the question of discipline. What I'm doing right now, is this piece of cake helping me to run the marathon? It's always the question of priorities. Unfortunately, the discipline fight is a daily fight, and you have to make the daily choices. On the bright side, discipline is almost like a muscle. The more you practice it, the more you get in the habit, say no to little unhelpful expenses, for example, or the food treats, when you know that the goal you're working towards is so much bigger. Once you have a goal, it doesn't mean it becomes an obsession. You obviously need to be able to live your life and not feel like this goal becomes a choke collar. There are, however, ways of making the journey to your goal more enjoyable. Some of the ways may include like a training buddy, accountability group, or a friend. It can be asking yourself, how can I make this very thing I'm doing right now more enjoyable? Can I, instead of going to a restaurant, go for a run and listen to some fun audiobook or the music I'm enjoying? Asking yourself what I'm doing right now, does it get me close to my goals, is not only for stopping you from doing things that are taking you away, but also reminding you to bring your daily routine in the direction of achieving the goal. Your goals can be not only financial. There are so many examples, and that routine of setting the goal and staying disciplined applies to everything in our life. It applies to our financial goals, it applies to our fitness goals, it applies to our personal life or family goals, can apply to our education goals. If you want to have a bachelor's degree 5 years from now, you probably should start researching universities. It applies to our spiritual life. It applies to everything across the board. Once you determine what are your goals and you make daily, weekly, monthly plan to achieve those goals, you will be unstoppable as long as you stick to those and chip away every single day. And the last comment, our goals are supposed to be motivating us. Many people are not setting goals and plans by the fear of the commitment. But keep in mind that goals can change. The situations in life change, priorities change, and it is okay to revise your goals. Keep moving to the next goals or different goals. But one thing I know, if you don't set any goals, you will not get there. But it is okay to set the goals and revise them as your life evolves and as your priorities change. So happy goal setting and happy achievements.